This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shasheena Rolle. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the Bahamas Public Services Union holding a press conference late this afternoon to address the plight of some workers here on Grand Bahama. The workers have been the subject of concern for some time now, as the union has been lobbying for employees, the local government and school board and other government workers to be made permanent and pensionable. The government has answered the union's call, and on May 1st, some of the workers received letters confirming that they have been regularized. But Pinder says there is a problem, as the workers have lost years of service, which he says is unfair.
If we're going to call ourselves a caring government, then we have to show sympathy towards these people. While we appreciate the government has taken some steps now to regularize these people to make them pensionable in the public service, they was not supposed to violate our industrial agreement, which speaks to persons who are being considered for permanent status after this length of time is not supposed to lose salaries. Now, I have spoken to this issue some time ago when this first came out in May, and I was advised that some person's salary grew because of certain connections they would have used. But that's not our concern.
Now, Pinder is calling on the government to reconsider this move. He says the workers should not be disadvantaged.
These people have financial commitments and obligations, and they would have made those, and they would have qualified for loans and all the rest of that based on their salaries at that time. And for now, for the government to make this decision, we're asking them to revisit this decision, restore these people's salaries to what they ought to be, and give these people years of service, some bridging. You can't tell me that they should be placed on probation again after working for you for 17 years, carrying on the very same responsibility. And now you can tell me they need a 12-year probationary period. For me, that's wrong, and it's a violation of the ILO Convention. It borders on exploitation, and it borders on the human rights of these people, and it certainly is a violation of the industrial agreement that we have with the government and the Employment Act.
Well, Bimini's economy is about to take off, but residents are not totally convinced that the island is prepared for this growth. Residents say more must be done to ensure that Bimini puts its best foot forward as it gets ready to welcome visitors from around the world. Our Megan Shepard has this story.
The island of Bimini is preparing for an influx of tourists, whether it be through the newly opened Resorts World Casino or the new superfast cruise ship, which has not yet commenced daily sailing trips to the island. Biminites say the new traffic will provide exposure for the island as well as an economic boost.
The taxi drivers are getting ready. I think it's going to be a good venture here in Bimini. A lot of jobs will be provided. A lot of tourists will be coming. The strong market will make some money. The locals will make some, it's a beautiful thing.
Well, economically it'll be good for, I wouldn't say for me, but for the island itself. If I just deal with myself, that would be a little too personal. I love Bimini. I'm from Bimini, so I always look for the people of Bimini. And I think it's going to be a good thing for Bimini itself. But Bimini itself have to be prepared mentally and physically.
While the island has always had its share of tourists, these residents say because of the large number that is now expected, they believe the island should undergo some improvements.
The island needs to get ready, more infrastructure, more beautification, more tourist things, more tourist ready in terms of bathrooms, the cleanliness, the information booths, taxis. We're just not ready for that amount of people that will be coming into us.
Well, as an island, I think we're ready for it because Bimini is always known for a destination of tourists. They got also the gateway to the Bahamas, so I think that we is particular ready for it. I don't know if the people themselves is ready, but I know personally I am ready because I always like to prepare myself for changes and the betterment for the island.
Local straw vendors say they received some training from BAIC 2 years ago, but they feel more training is needed if they are to benefit from Bimini's growing economy.
BAIC has been here helping us to get ready for what was coming, like the straw costs, the shell costs, and I think we can do more of that because most of the people in the straw market did not do it. But if we implemented with the students that are coming out of grade 12 and the people on the island and like kind of introduce them to it. I think we can be ready.
Even the younger ones, some of the girls would come out of high school. That's a good thing for them to take up, you know. Everybody are not book smart, so that'll be a good thing for the young girls would come out of high school.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, Grand Bahamas Police Chief is defending the quality of firefighting services on the island. On the issue of the complement of fire trucks, ACP Emerick Seymour says the situation has certainly improved. He admits that a new station will enhance the quality of services offered by the fire department and says he is optimistic that a new fire station will be built soon.
The officers, in fact, working from the current fire facility. And of course, they're doing a commendable job under the circumstances. We just received, as you know, 2 new fire trucks for the community of Grand Bahama, which really bring our fleet to 4 now. And so we're happy to have them. I'm sure the residents are, in fact, happy to have them, where we continue to provide the necessary services for the people of Grand Bahama in that regard.
The Families for Justice group recently called for additional firefighting personnel to be assigned to Grand Bahama, charging that the current staff complement is inadequate. But ACP Seymour says this is not the case.
We have sufficient firefighters to carry out the job that is expected of that department. Of course, there's always room for improvement, not only with the fire department, don't single out the fire department, but all of the other areas of our operation. But we are satisfied that we can respond to any given situation. Now that we have those new fire trucks, and see, every police officer can run the fire services, and so I don't want you to zero in on the limited amount of fire officers we have, because that's really not. So I hear being talked about in the press recently, but I really paid no mind, because I am pretty satisfied as the commanding officer that once we have a fire-related incident or any incident, that the police department in Grand Bahama can respond and respond appropriately.
Members of the executive team of the Royal Bahamas Police Force joining the Commissioner of Police and Grand Bahama officers today for a full military funeral for retired police constable Ralph Martin. The service was held at Community Holiness Church in 8 Mile Walk. Martin gave 24 years of service to the police force. At the time of retirement, he served with the Transport and Maintenance Division. Minister for Grand Bahama, Dr. Michael Darrell, was among the mourners paying final respects.
To God and country is one of the most honorable means by which any citizen of this great Commonwealth can contribute to building our nation. The late retired officer Ralph Grosvenor Martin demonstrated his love and commitment to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas through excellence in service to the Royal Bahamas Police Force for the last 24 years. Therefore, this morning it is really an honor and a privilege, and I stand here with great pride on behalf of the Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Bernard Nottage, and the government of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas to salute this great Bahamian who have given unselfishly of himself and for the good of our country.
Now, Commissioner of Police Alison Greenslade says the 65-year-old retired police officer gave outstanding service and will forever be remembered for his contributions to the police force.
Served us generously, turned up for work, never complained. And sometimes we try to figure in life why people are not all treated the same way. We look at promotions and we wonder. But I think we missed the mark because we note the wrong things. One need not be a commissioner with bars on his or her shoulder or shoulders to be distinguished, to be decent, and to be accepted by Almighty God. Ralph gave more, in my estimation, and I didn't know him very well, but I did know him, gave more than many persons that are lettered with big letters behind their names.
That's the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition continues right after this.